Hello, I am D. Balnarasimha, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, GDC Ramanapet, Yadadri Bhuvanagiరి District. Today, I am going to discuss about hyperconjugation, which is a very important topic in organic chemistry, and in understanding organic chemistry, it is a very important concept. We know that earlier in our earlier video, I discussed about resonance and mesomeric effect. Hyperconjugation is another type of resonance. It is also called as no bond resonance. I will explain with examples why it is called as no bond resonance. Okay, and I am going to discuss about the applications of hyperconjugation. With the help of hyperconjugation, one can explain the stabilities of carbonium cations, which is stable, tertiary, secondary, primary. Why? What is the reason behind their stability in the perspective of hyperconjugation? And stability of free radicals, stability of alkenes, and bond lengths of certain molecules. Okay, so we will discuss all these things in this video lecture. So here resonance involves delocalization of 5 electrons, leaving the sigma bond untouched. In resonance, suppose if you take butadiene CH double bond CH2, there is only movement of or delocalization of only 5 electrons take place. So in this manner we get different resonance structure H2 minus. But there are some other examples in which there is a sigma bond and adjacent 5 bond may get involved in some resonance structures. Such a delocalization is called hyperconjugation. Okay, in resonance or mesomeric effect, there is no involvement of sigma electrons. There is no delocalization of sigma electrons. Whereas in some resonance structures, some sigma electrons or sigma bond and 5 electrons are involved. Such resonance are called as hyperconjugation. Okay, such delocalization is called as hyperconjugation. Okay, here I am taking the example of propene. How many number of carbons are there? Here a molecule to perform resonance hyperconjugation, it must have some alpha hydrogens. What are alpha hydrogens? Double bond is here, it is double bond CH double bond CH2. The carbon which is adjacent to this double bond is called as alpha carbon. Those hydrogens which are attached to this alpha carbon are called as alpha hydrogens. Okay, a molecule to perform or to undergo hyperconjugation, it should have alpha hydrogens, then only that molecule will exhibit this hyperconjugation, the phenomena called hyperconjugation. So here propene is having how many alpha hydrogens are there? 3 alpha hydrogens are there in propane. Okay, so in the same way as resonance, here the sigma bond between carbon and hydrogen is shifting. Okay, it is called resonance. Okay, delocalization. So from here sigma bond, the double bond is formed, whereas there was no double bond at this place, at this bond. So it is double bond is formed. So In these resonance structures, here there is no bond between this carbon and hydrogen. Here there was a sigma bond, but in this resonance structure there is no sigma bond between this carbon and hydrogen. That's why it is called as no bond resonance. Okay, no bond resonance, right? So hyperconjugation is also called as no bond resonance. It is another kind of resonance or delocalization which occurs through overlap between a sigma orbital and a p orbital in phi bond, or phi orbital in sigma double bond, or p orbital in carbonium cation or free radicals. Okay, so it is another kind of resonance which involves sigma orbital and p orbital of phi bond. Okay, it is called as hyperconjugation, and it is also called as no bond resonance, and also called as Baker-Nathan effect, right? So we should know, to perform to undergo hyperconjugation, to show hyperconjugation effect, one molecule must have alpha hydrogens. What are alpha hydrogens? What is alpha hydrogen? The carbon which is adjacent to a double bond or any functional group is called as alpha carbon. The hydrogens which are attached to this alpha carbon, or which are in bonding with this alpha carbon, are called as alpha hydrogens. So at least one alpha hydrogen should be there to perform hyperconjugation. So this is hyperconjugation. So hyperconjugation helps in understanding the stability of molecules. Okay, it is one stabilizing effect of molecules, and already we discussed this point. Interaction of, in hyperconjugation there is a interaction of sigma bond. Okay, here in the previous example we discussed there is a sigma bond between carbon and hydrogen. It is involved the interaction of this sigma bond and with the double bond phi orbital of this double bond with pi network. Okay, there is interaction of sigma bond and phi orbital of double bond, or interaction of sigma bond with p orbital of carbonium cation or free radical. So as we have discussed, when carbon possessing at least one hydrogen is attached to another carbon bearing an unshared orbital to an unsaturated carbon, there are more than one structure possible for the molecule. Canonical forms, yes, we have already discussed about it. To perform hyperconjugation, a molecule to exhibit hyperconjugation, to show hyperconjugation effect, it must have at least one alpha hydrogen. So more the number of alpha hydrogens, more will be the hyperconjugative structures. So these result from the overlap of the bonding electrons of carbon hydrogen sigma bond with 2p or phi orbital of adjacent atom. Okay, carbon atom. Okay, already we have also discussed this point, right? As a result, the bond between carbon and hydrogen doesn't exist anymore. So we have shown with that example, there is a interaction between phi orbitals of this carbon and sigma orbital of this hydrogen carbon bond. So this interaction, by this there will be a resonance structure in which there is no bond between carbon and hydrogen. So that's why it is called as no bond resonance. So yeah, here it is shown here. So the shared pair of electrons is now borne by carbon alone, and hydrogen is in its close proximity as proton, right? As after this resonance structure, then will be a, right, here there is no bond between carbon and hydrogen, right. The shared pair of electrons here these electrons, right, electrons will be borne by this carbon only, right. So they will be accommodated by this carbon only, and hydrogen is in its close proximity as proton. Protons means H plus, proton means, so it exists as proton in the close proximity of this carbon, right. So the negative charge developed on the carbon gets delocalized by overlapping with adjacent p orbital. Okay, it is a overlapping of the sigma bond with the p orbital of, here it is carbonic cation, that's why we are saying it is p orbital. Otherwise in double bonds that means phi orbital. Okay, there should be a phi bond, that's why there is a phi orbital. Okay, the negative charge, so after so here it is having positive charge, so the carbon should have negative charge, right. So the negative charge developed on the carbon, which here it is the negative charge on the carbon, gets delocalized with adjacent p orbital. So adjacent p orbital here, right, just wait, I am taking ethyl carbonic cation, adjacent p orbital, it is electron deficient, so here it gets minus charge, it gets positive charge, so this negative charge involves, okay, gets delocalized by overlapping with this p orbital, right, p orbital of this carbon, right. So delocalization taking place, the interaction between sigma electrons and sigma orbital and p orbital. Next, here again I am summing up the hyperconjugation. So the electrons of sigma bond between carbon and hydrogen are involved in delocalization, yes. In structure to the right, no bond between carbon and hydrogen due to migration of sigma bond, hence hyperconjugation is called as no bond resonance, right. This doesn't indicate that hydrogen is completely detached from the structure, but some degree of ionic character in carbon and hydrogen bond and some single bond character between carbon and carbon double bond. So with the result what we get, there is a ionic character between this carbon and hydrogen, because it is hydrogen is in H plus state and carbon is in minus state, and after getting this resonance, what will happen to this bond, this bond will get double bond character, okay. So it will have shorter than bond length is shorter than double bond, and this bond will have, this bond length will have more hence these hyperconjugation structures bring about changes in bond lengths of carbon hydrogen and carbon double bonds. Effects of hyperconjugation on the chemical properties or applications of hyperconjugation. Okay, with the help of hyperconjugation, one can explain the stabilities of carbonium cations. Here, how can we explain the stabilities of carbonic cations? If there are more number of hyperconjugative structures for a carbonium cation, more the stability it gets. more the stable is the carbonium cation. Okay, so how can we decide that determine the number of hyperconjugative structures for a molecule on the basis of alpha hydrogens it consists of. So what are the alpha hydrogens? We have discussed already. So carbocations have an electron deficient carbon. Yes, the empty p orbital of this sp2 carbon overlaps with sigma orbital of carbon hydrogen adjacent alkyl group. This overlap permits individual electrons to help bind together 3 nucleus and 1 hydrogen. So already all these things we have discussed, about all these things. The positive charge thus gets dispersed over large volume of space and is stabilized. So as a rule of thumb, one should remember that, keep that in their mind, that more number of alpha hydrogen, more stable is the carbonium cation. So here if we take this carbonium cation, carbon as functional group, which then this carbon is considered as alpha carbon. The hydrogens which are attached to or in bonding with to this carbon are called as alpha hydrogens. How many alpha hydrogens are there? There are 3 alpha hydrogens. So here if you see these resonance structures here, so this sigma bond resulting in here a double bond, there is a no bond between carbon and hydrogen. So it is for this hydrogen, this resonance structure is for this hydrogen 1. So this resonance structure is 2 for this hydrogen, and this resonance structure is for this hydrogen from this hydrogen. Okay, so there are 3 alpha hydrogens, means there are 3 hyperconjugative structures, right? So in this way, more the number of hyperconjugative structures, more the number of alpha hydrogens, more the number of hyperconjugative structures, more the stable is the carbonium cation. So here again, more the number of alkyl groups, or alkyl means here methyl, take example as methyl, so it is having alpha hydrogens. Alkyl groups on the carbocation, more is the number of alpha hydrogens and sigma bonds, and hence more are possibilities for hyperconjugation, which makes the carbocation more stable. So more the number of alpha hydrogens, more the number of hyperconjugative structures, more is the stability of carbonium cation. Here if we take tertiary carbonium cation, what is tertiary carbonium cation? Which is in bonding with 3 other carbon atoms, okay, other functional groups which are having carbon as central atom. Here it is tertiary carbonium cation, it is secondary because it is in bonding with 2 other carbon atoms. Here it is primary, and another is there methyl carbonium cation. So in tertiary carbonium cation, how many alpha hydrogens are there? So it is alpha carbon, okay, it is alpha carbon. There are 3 alpha carbons. So each alpha carbon is having 3 hydrogens. So 3 into 3, 9 alpha hydrogens are there, 9. So 9 alpha hydrogens. Here in the secondary carbonium cation, there are 6 alpha hydrogens are there, 9 alpha hydrogens, here 6 alpha hydrogens. Here in primary carbonium cation, there are only 3 alpha hydrogens. In this methyl carbonium cation, there are no alpha hydrogen because there is no bond with other carbon and there are no alpha hydrogens. So there are no alpha hydrogens. So alpha hydrogens are 0 here, 0. So already I told you that more the number of alpha hydrogens, more the number of hyperconjugated structures, in turn more the stability of the carbonyl cation. So here from that statement we can say that tertiary carbonyl cation is more stable than secondary carbonyl cation. Secondary carbonyl cation is more stable than primary carbonyl cation, and primary carbonyl cation is more stable than methyl carbonyl cation because it has 9, it exhibits 9 resonance structure hyperconjugative structures. Secondary carbonyl cation exhibits 6 conjugative hyperconjugative structures, and primary carbonyl cation exhibits or performs 3 hyperconjugative structures and 0 conjugative structures for methyl carbonyl cation. More the number of conjugative structures, more stability is the carbonyl cation. In this way, with the help of hyperconjugation, one can explain the stability of carbonyl cations. Right? Second application of hyperconjugation. Here also, more the number of alpha hydrogens, more the number of stability, more the stability of the free radical. More the number of alpha hydrogens gives more number of hyperconjugative structures. In turn, it imparts stability to the free radical. The number of resonance structures depends upon the alkyl radical. More the number of resonance structures, more is the stability of the free radical. So here, if we take the example of ethyl free radical, in this, if we consider it as functional group, this carbon is alpha carbon. It is having 1, 2, 3 alpha hydrogens, 3 alpha hydrogens. So it should it should show 3 resonance hyperconjugative structures. So this for one, this hydrogen, third hydrogen, it is for first hydrogen, it is for second hydrogen. It is showing 3 resonance hyperconjugative structures, no bond resonance structures. Okay, it is similar to the carbonium cations, right? The order of stability depends on the extent of delocalization. The greater the delocalization, the more is the stable. How this greater delocalization happens? More the number of resonance structure, hyperconjugative structures. So in the same way how we explained stabilities of carbonyl cations, we can explain stabilities of free radicals. So tertiary free radical is having how many alpha hydrogens? Tertiary. So there should be 3 carbons surrounding this free radical and 3 hydrogens. So there are 9 alpha hydrogens are there, 9. For secondary, there should be 2 carbons which is in bonding with this free radical. So how many alpha hydrogens are there? 6. So here 3 and 3, 6 alpha hydrogens. In primary free radical, there should be 3 alpha hydrogens, 3. So which is most stable free radical? So tertiary, because it is having 9 alpha hydrogens. So why it is most stable? So 9 alpha hydrogens containing free radical will have 9 hyperconjugative structures. So it is more stable than secondary free radical, which is having 6 alpha hydrogen. So it has 6 hyperconjugative structures. So in this way we can say that tertiary alkyl radical is more stable than secondary alkyl radical, and secondary alkyl radical is more stable than methyl radical. Here it has 9 alpha hydrogens, here it is having 6 alpha hydrogens, it is having 3 alpha hydrogens, methyl radical is having 0 alpha hydrogens. So in this way we can explain the stabilities of free radicals with the help of hyperconjugation. So another application of the hyperconjugation is stabilities of alkenes. With the help of hyperconjugation we can explain the stabilities of alkenes. So here also same concept. Stability of alkene depends on the number of alpha hydrogens. So more the number of alpha hydrogens, more stable is the alkene. So here what happens in alkenes, there is a overlapping of carbon hydrogen sigma bond and it is 5 bond. So this sigma bond. So there is a overlapping of sigma bond with this 5 bond, overlapping of this sigma orbital with 5 orbital of double bond. So here already hyperconjugation has been started with the help with this example only. So alpha carbon hydrogen possesses partial ionic character and its electrons get delocalized into the adjacent pi system. More the substituent, more is the opportunity for hyperconjugation and more stable is the alkene. Here propene I am taking again the example of propene. Here there are 3 hydrogens, so it should have 3 hyperconjugated structures, right? In brief, it has been explained in this table. There are no alpha hydrogens for this ethene or ethylene, so it is considered as functional group. There is no carbon here, there is no carbon here, that's why it is having 0 number of alpha hydrogens, right? Alpha hydrogens 0. Here in this alkene, this carbon is alpha carbon, so it is having 3 alpha hydrogens. So in this alkene there are 2 alpha carbons and 6 alpha hydrogens. In this alkene there are here 2 alpha carbons, here 3, so each alpha carbon is having 3 hydrogens, so it is 9 alpha hydrogens. There are 9 alpha hydrogens. In this alkene, here 2 alpha carbons, here 2 alpha carbons, each is containing, there are 4 alpha carbons, each alpha carbon is containing 4 hydrogens, so 12 alpha hydrogens. So with this by seeing these number of alpha hydrogens, we can say that it performs 12 hyperconjugative structures, it performs 9, 6, 3, 0. So more the number of hyperconjugative structures, more stable is the alkene. So which alkene is more stable? This alkene is more stable. Okay, if we assign numbers to these alkenes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then the stability order must be like this: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Why? Because according to alpha hydrogens, it is having 12 alpha hydrogens, it is having 9 alpha hydrogens, it is having 6, it is having 3, it is having 0. So how could we explain the stabilities of alkenes? By taking with the help of hyperconjugation. And another implication of hyperconjugation is bond length. So the molecules which are showing hyperconjugation will have effect on their bond lengths. So here already we have discussed about it. Hyperconjugation leads to shortening of sigma bond. Here I will take one example again, propane. I am taking propane. Okay. After hyperconjugation, it will have C double bond C CH2 minus and CH H H H plus, right? After hyperconjugation, the one resonance hyperconjugated structure of propane. So if you take this example propane, this single bond will get the double bond character. So this sigma bond is shortened. Okay, here the first point is saying shortening of sigma bond. Okay, why it gets double bond nature? Because why because of hyperconjugation. And C double bond C bond CC bond in 1,3-butadiene or any propane, double bond character gets this bond length lies between double bond and single bond character. Okay, so it is the bond becomes extended, it is enlarged, the bond length enlarges by hyperconjugation. This double bond nature is enlarged. Okay, this bond length of this double bond is enlarged. So hyperconjugation have effect on bond lengths also. So with this I can conclude that hyperconjugation is a no bond resonance. It involves interaction of sigma bond with or sigma orbital with phi orbital or phi bond, and sigma bond with p orbital. Interaction involves here. And the second point is it is no bond resonance. So more the number of hyperconjugative structures, more the stability is the atom. More the number of alpha hydrogens, more the number of hyperconjugative structures. With the help of hyperconjugation, we can explain the stabilities of carbonyl cation, and we can explain the stabilities of free radical, and we explain the stabilities of alkenes. And hyperconjugation will have effect on bond lengths of the molecule, which molecule shows the hyperconjugation. Okay, so the molecules which show hyperconjugation will be influenced by hyperconjugation they will be affected, the bonds will be affected. Okay, hyperconjugation leads to shortening of sigma bonds. Okay, thank you.